Hey guys, so this has been going viral. Uh, I think I watched this morning first. I've been watching many videos on this particular prison rape video that Netanyahu has addressed in his press conference about. Apparently, like a military lawyer, like an Israeli military lawyer, she leaked it. She leaked that video, and I just came to know like it was leaked last year. I'm not sure why suddenly it is being talked about, and what is the reason why now it is getting all the attention. I'm not really sure about it, but we'll watch a few videos and then try and understand what exactly happened. Okay.
Israeli police have arrested the country's former top military lawyer, tomer-yerushalmi, after she admitted to leaking a video appearing to show soldiers abusing a Palestinian detainee in prison. The leaked video caused outrage in Israel and abroad. It also infuriated members of the right-wing government, who branded it an attack on the reputation of the country's armed forces.
And by the way, why are they arresting her for this? Like, she's a fucking hero, isn't it? She didn't do anything wrong. They should have. I'm pretty sure they did something about the guys who did the war crime.
And give those sick bastards a clear track from here to hell and gone.
The soldiers who were involved in that horrible activity. I hope they arrested them.
Tel Aviv police confirm that they have found Yifat tomer-yerushalmi alive, just hours after she was declared missing by her family, who feared she was about to take her own life.
I can say that after a prolonged search, she was located. She is currently with police officers and soldiers for a medical examination.
I mean, such people are the reason why still reigns in this world. Like, there's some conscience in the midst of, despite knowing that, the kind of treatment that she would get. She was courageous enough to, go ahead and do what she thought was right. You know what I mean? Like, we need such people. Well, why are they arresting her for this? So this was like uploaded a year ago. So I am a bit confused why, like, this was in the Guardian. So is it like only now she accepted that she leaked, and that's why now she's everybody's talking about it, and because like they could have dismissed this as like, oh, this is not Israel, this is not our soldiers, like they could have done that. Allegedly, it says, right, in the title, sexually abused. Oh, wow. What is like? I don't understand.
עצורי חמאס שוכבים על הרצפה כפותים, עיניהם מכוסות.
So apparently this is from the Sede Teiman prison in southern Israel.
עיניהם מכוסות. הנה כאן קבוצה של חיילי המילואים מכוח 100, יחידה המשמשת להבטחת המתקן. הם לוקחים
And it's a him.
את המחבל, משמשת להבטחת המתקן. הם לוקחים את המחבל, הנה הם כאן בפינת המתקן, כנראה מודעים למצלמות האבטחה, נסים להסתיר מעשיהם במגינים. הצילום כל סדום בנסיבות אינוס. הפציעות נגרמו מהחדרה של חפץ. תחילת החודש שעבר, שעת ערב מאוחרת, מחנה הכליאה הראי...
It's a very disturbing video. And this is what this is the article that I found. This is NDTV. It's an Indian news channel. I think they have NDTV World. They have like. So this is what it says, right? Top Israeli military lawyer quits, goes missing, is found, and then sent to jail. The soap opera worthy saga was touched off by Ifat tomer-yerushalmi. Looks like she's the one. Explosive admission that she leaked a video appearing to show soldiers abusing a Palestinian detainee. It was when this is like today's news. This is 4th of November 2025. And until last week was the Israeli army's top lawyer. Now she's behind bars and at the center of a scandal rocking the country after a bizarre sequence of events that included her abrupt resignation. So they must have made her resign, a brief disappearance, and a frantic search that led authorities to find her on a Tel Aviv beach. Soap opera worthy saga was touched off last week by Yerushalmi's explosive admission. Okay, so she only admitted it last week, it seems. She approved the leak of a surveillance video at the center of a politically divisive investigation into allegations of several severe abuse against a Palestinian and a notorious Israeli. And mind you guys, like this is one of the cases that got like leaked. Imagine how many such events were not recorded, were not leaked. God knows, right? And I know this because like soldiers are some of the most sexually repressed people in the world, right? This is what happened in the case of the tomer-yerushalmi in India, like where the Indian army guys were sent to Sri Lanka for some peace negotiation or whatever, and these guys started abusing the Tamil women over there, and that led to the I don't know, like whatever, assassination of Rajiv Gandhi and whatnot. So videos show part of an assault in which Israeli soldiers are accused of sexually abusing a Palestinian detainee. By leaking the video last year, tomer-yerushalmi aimed to expose the seriousness of the allegations her office was investigating. Instead, it triggered fierce criticism from Israel's hardline political leaders. After resigning under pressure last week, her critics continue to heave personal insults. She left a cryptic note for her family and abandoned her car near a beach that later feared she had taken her own life and prompted an intensive search that included all for what? Leaking a war crime? What the fuck? She was found alive at the beach Sunday night, at which point more vitriol against her was unleashed. We can resume. This is what happens when you want to do the right thing, right? Your country's image comes into picture, and everybody is worried about the country's image rather than someone who's being brutally assaulted, like a war crime. Gosh, humans. We can resume the lynch right-wing TV personality Magal and Ale of Benjamin Netanyahu. After it was revealed that one of phones disappeared, like it showed 2 years of devastating. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I just want to show you guys what they actually did somewhere. Um, the video which has been aired by shows soldiers take a detainee into an area they cordon off with shields in an apparent attempt to hide their actions. Sodomized him with a knife, causing multiple injuries. What kind of a sick motherfucker does something like that?
You're a sick motherfucker, Mac.
He said the detainee underwent surgery for a perforated rectum and was released back 2 days later. Staff said it was the most extreme abuse case he was familiar with. Sareh Tayman. Who are these sick bastards? And imagine what they would have done to the women if they do this to the guy, right? And then in Gaza, where like no outside press, independent press, people are not allowed and whatnot. This is what I mentioned in my last video, right? Like Damn, bro. Seriously? Let's watch another video.
Former top lawyer of the Israeli military has been arrested over a leaked video showing Israeli soldiers brutally assaulting a Palestinian prisoner. Major General tomer-yerushalmi resigned last week, saying she took full responsibility for the leak.
And this guy, Netanyahu, he comes on the, like, he in the press conference, he says, this is the most, where's that video? Somewhere I watched that video. Yeah, this video, right?
האירוע בשדה תימן גרם לנזק תדמיתי עצום למדינת ישראל ולצבא ההגנה לישראל, לחיילים שלנו. זה אולי הפיגוע ההסברתי הקשה ביותר ש...
Yeah, he calls it a media failure. Man. So he's not really, like, he doesn't show any kind of remorse that this happened. Rather, he's just not happy that it got leaked.
Way to go, girl.
מדינת ישראל חוותה מאז הקמתה, אני לא זוכר דבר ממוקד בעוצמה כזאת.
He's concerned about the image of Israel.
Let's get to it.
Where was I?
He's now being detained on suspicion of obstruction of justice and breach of trust. Well, the footage was leaked back in August 2024, and it shows Israeli soldiers dragging and allegedly sexually abusing a Palestinian prisoner, hiding their actions behind riot shields. All right, let's cross over to Noor Oda, who's in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Noor, I think it's fair to say that when this video was leaked to the media and internationally, it confirmed something human rights organizations in Israel, organizations like B'Tselem, had been aware of for some time, that rape and allegations of degrading forms of torture were reportedly being used against Palestinians in Israeli detention. And now news that the source of the leak was an Israeli military legal chief. Netanyahu, though, simply...
No, they can't do it. No, they can't say, they can't pretend that they can't deny it, right? They can't pretend that, no, never happened.
Calling this a media failure. Walk us through the waves this case is creating in Israel.
Well, this is creating really a political and legal storm in Israel, and Neve. On the one hand, you have the Israeli government coalition accusing this top general, the chief military advocate, of blood libel against the Israeli army, of defaming Israeli soldiers. Netanyahu went as far as saying this was the most dangerous assault on Israel's image since its establishment, and many in Israel are hesitant or really fearful, actually, of the fact.
Stop pretending that, this is as if this is the first time. People have been raising, the journalists have been raising this for like ages now. Suddenly, these guys have realized, sheesh.
Israel, our great ally. Let me give you some of the backstory here for you guys who don't recall.
So apparently there's some protests against the...
Put these images up on the screen. Horrific video leaked a while back showing the abuse, including sexual abuse, of this Palestinian hostage. You can see the way that the IDF there, and this was in this notorious...
Who are these people? Are they clapping or what are they doing exactly?
City Taman prison facility. And so once this comes out and they go to actually arrest these men who were involved in this abuse and this rape, what you saw there was a riot broke out. A right to rape riot broke out.
What kind of a sick... right to rape?
Out in Israel, including some politicians from the governing coalition and the ruling party who were involved in this, who were not upset about the abuse. Of course, no, of course they weren't upset about that. They were upset.
I just hope this is not true. what kind of a sick person, sick society would
that there
try to rape?
might be any sort of charges and accountability, even some like sort of bogus sham investigation, which is what it has totally turned out to be. They were horrified that there would be any recriminations against anyone that was involved with the literal sexual abuse of a Palestinian prisoner that they were holding there. By the way, this was not a one-off. This was not a one-off. We've seen numerous reports from international organizations, testimony from people who have come out of this facility in particular, but others as well. We've seen New York Times reporting about the systematic rape and sexual abuse of Palestinians being held by the IDF. So what happened here, apparently,
These guys are terrorists. These are not soldiers. These are terrorists.
is, you know, if you want to avoid getting the ICC involved as a country, you have to show that you are taking seriously the allegations against your own people, any sort of like war crime allegations against your own people. So Israel will occasionally do these like sham investigations effectively to try to keep their image of, oh no, we're we're democracy in the Middle East. Anything that goes wrong, we have accountability, et cetera, et cetera. So this was so bad that the video was leaked and they did this sham investigation. By the way, all of these guys continue to be free, et cetera. Okay, so what has happened since then? Let's put D3 up on the screen next to give you the backstory here. So it has been revealed who it was, this IDF legal chief, who ended up leaking the video. So first, her name is Military Advocate General Yifat Tomer-Yerushalmi. So first, she resigns. Then she actually disappears, and they found what appears.
Wait a minute. IDF legal chief awarded probes into Gaza war crimes, citing writing backlash. Sources says amid resignation.
To be a potential suicide note in her car because there is this mass backlash in
Top IDF prosecutor who leaked war crimes admits burying other investigations.
Israeli society.
I take back my word. She's not a hero.
I take it back. You're fucking deranged.
Not again over the abuse of these prisoners, but of the fact that she leaked this video so that the world could see what was actually going on. So the headline here, IDF legal chief avoided
Well, at least she had some kind of conscience, I guess.
probes into the Gaza war crime, citing right-wing backlash, sources say, amid resignation. So just so you understand who this lady is, this is not some, lefty liberal person. This is someone who avoided in significant instances, including the strike on the World Central Kitchen workers, including on multiple hospital strikes that killed civilians, including reporters. This is someone who buried all of that and refused to investigate all of those things. Why? Because she was worried about right-wing backlash. So now that we have the information that she was the one who leaked this video, they are calling for her head. And I mean literally. All the way up to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu himself. Let's go ahead and show D2.
What kind of stress are you experiencing thinking about AI?
So Bibi is saying here.
So Netanyahu, so the rape of the Israeli soldiers and the Palestinian prisoners caused enormous damage to the image of the state of Israel and Israeli army and of soldiers. This may be the most difficult propaganda attack.
What propaganda, Carl?
The state of Israel has faced since it did not recall an incident centered with this duty of force. This requires an independent investigation out of any party and so such an initiative to be conducted. And today the rapist published a photo boasting while masked after a press conference so as not to be identified and prosecuted judicially abroad. And the most important thing is that in all of Israel, no one is talking about the heinousness of the rape, but rather the anger is focused only on the leak of the videos that expose the crime, and this is what really bothers them. Exactly.
Symbols of a sick society.
Sick society. And while I was searching for this, I found this video. I am still like okay, I'll go ahead and watch exactly what this guy says.
Have you seen what's been going on over there in Gaza? A lot of the stories of soldiers doing less than ethical things to prisoners. What's the basis for that? Is it here in the Holy Bible? No, it's not. Especially because we're in the New Testament now. We're not in the Old Testament anymore. God is not dealing with the nation of Israel as a holy nation. Anybody can see that one. They're far from holy. But where did they get this thing from that they have a right to perversion with prisoners of war? Let me show you where they get it. It's from the Talmud. Okay? Right here we have it. All right? Let me show it to you on the overhead
He
camera.
says apparently there is a statement in the Talmud that says that Jewish soldiers are allowed to rape prisoners of war.
Camera. Here you go. There you go. Page 132. Right down there. All right, check this out. But surely there is the allowance concerning a beautiful woman, a non-Jewish female prisoner of war. The Torah allows a Jewish soldier to take such a woman. No, it doesn't. According to some authorities, a Jew may engage in sexual relations with her during wartime. Uh-oh, wait a second. It says up here the Torah allows this. But then down here it says some authorities. Well, wait. If it's the Torah, if it's the Old Testament, the first 5 books of Moses, then why would it say some authorities? Doesn't make any sense. The Talmud overthrows the Scriptures. The Scriptures do not allow this. All right? It's talking about the one place in Scripture talks about the tribe of Benjamin, that they can go to Shiloh, and if they see young girls dancing, they can go and take them and make them into their wives. But it is not saying just anybody out in warfare, anywhere you are, you can do it anytime you want to. It's not what the Bible teaches. All right, the tribe of Benjamin was having hard times with, populating, being repopulated after God judged them, so they needed wives, and nobody.
No wonder, like the atheists think that most of the evil that humans do are caused by religions, right? I mean,
They wanted to give them wives, and that's why that was done. All right. And I'm not saying God was even for that. I'm saying that's why they did it. But it says here, sexual relations with her during wartime. So you can have relations with a non-Jewish female prisoner of war during times of war. Emergency war powers, sound familiar? And according to others, to convert and marry her as a, quote, concession to the evil inclination. Huh? You can have a concession to the evil inclination? You're giving in to your evil lusts? That's what they're saying here. Because your rabbi said it's okay. Your Talmudic rabbi said it's okay. This allows...
So what exactly is the Talmud, by the way? So what is the Torah and what is the Talmud? I'm a bit... Torah versus Talmud. Talmud is the vast compendium of rabbinic discussions, interpretations, and debates regarding the Torah's commandments and laws. Includes the Mishnah and the Gemara. Talmud serves as the oral law, providing detailed explanations, legal reasoning, and practical applications of the often succinct and condensed Torah laws. So the Torah is written, divine scripture, and Talmud is oral law, rabbinic commentary, and okay, so it is it is the interpretation of the Torah apparently. Okay. So if this is what they are interpreting it as, obviously there will be some dumb motherfuckers who are going to take it for granted, isn't it? And this is what I just did a perplexity search. whether this actually is the case, right? And this is what perplexity says. The Talmud, so this is what I searched for. Does the Talmud say Jewish soldiers can rape like non-Jewish women prisoners of war, right? The Talmud discusses the biblical law of the beautiful captive women. Blah, blah, blah. According to the Talmudic and later rabbinic sources, there is debate about whether a Jewish soldier is allowed intercourse, including rape, with a non-Jewish woman before marriage. One view permits a single instance of intercourse, rape at the moment of capture, permitted solely as a concession to the soldier's evil inclination, but strictly limits this allowance and requires the soldiers to then bring the woman home where she mourns, and only after a waiting period may the soldier marry her if she. Well, this sounds really ancient, prehistoric kind of rule for that prehistoric society. Opposing view forbids any sexual contact before the morning. Okay, so there's two views. Obviously, people are going to take advantage of this view, right? If if there is even a remote possibility of justifying such an act, these repressed soldiers are obviously going to take advantage of it, isn't it? Both views. Okay, so I then did a follow-up search. Says what are the mainstream Jewish ethical responses to these texts? So this was prompted by perplexity itself. I thought, okay, why not? Let's search that, and then it says mainstream Jewish ethical responses emphasize that the biblical law is a constrained, exceptional legal concession that does not reflect an ideal or endorsement of sexual violence. So the law is understood as a concession to human weakness, intended to regulate and limit soldier behavior rather than permit or glorify sexual assault. Rabbis viewed unrestricted sexual captives as more harmful and thus sought to restrain strict procedures. Okay, they try, like maybe they were trying to be more practical, rather than. I see the point. I understand the point. Okay, but don't they know that humans are like, some of us are dumb motherfuckers who are not mature enough to understand this kind of stuff, right? Like, why even take the chance? Many rabbinic sources explicitly condemn rape and emphasize the importance of consider that they treat sexual assault victims with compassion and require the rapist to pay heavy damage. Torah's laws were shaped within the cultural realities of ancient times and cannot be taken as ethically normative for modern behavior. But people are dumb. People are like not that mature. And a lot of us are not that mature. Contemporary Jewish ethics reject any claim that Jewish law permits rape. There are ethical warnings about the negative consequences of such marriages, and the rabbis regard the whole law as morally problematic and historically situated. So, based on what looks like something like this is mentioned, and what the mainstream view is, such things should not be taken literally because it was written written at an ancient time for that time period. So we should take it with a grain of salt. So that's what I understand, right? And it's always us, like religion, like on the one hand, like it's blindly following it is not a mature thing to do, you know. But religion is so what how do I say this? Religion is such a taboo, such a sensitive topic that I don't think anybody is even mature enough to apply the context of whatever was said, right? Because some of these guys literally believe they are the chosen people, right? There's this problem in Hinduism as well. The Brahmins, they have a similar kind of mindset. The upper caste people, they have a similar kind of mindset. And if you're not mature enough, you might literally think that you are chosen and others or subhuman. You know what I mean? So I think I don't even know what to say. This is such a I'll never find an answer to this, right? This is all I can say is if you have to look outside uh, for a confirmation rather than listen to your inner voice when you try and do such an activity, then I think you don't have any conscience, bro. Yeah, then you're not an adult. Like, what are you, like a child? You have to double check with a rabbi whether you can rape someone. Is that the level of maturity that you have? It means like you're unfit to be a human, to be an adult. You see what I mean? What kind of what can't you think for yourself? Like, ah, I. All right. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.